I can no longer hold myself to the standards of a victim. At some point, I have to flip the narrative. I realized going through a lot of pain and trauma at such a long age that it kind of just looped around me and it would just keep like cycling back and making its ways through different parts of my brain, kind of controlling how I experienced my childhood, which I'll go into detail at another point. But yeah, I had to rebuild myself because I was known as the girl who might have been fast. So I got a lot of attention from guys, and I feel like getting so much unhealthy attention from men definitely like made me want to protect myself. Like it made me just want to walk around in hoodies or just like hide. That's the best way I can put it. I always had a hat, head covering, or something on so that I could just hide and keep myself safe from some of the guys I would encounter. Because they were just weren't like normal, regular guys, you know, they were like high, fancy jobs, like, oh, he's so honorable type of people. Like people you would trust that I feel like took advantage of me. And yeah, like I said, I had to learn that I am valuable. I learned that just because that little girl wasn't able to protect herself doesn't mean that now that since I'm a woman, I can't protect myself. I owe it to myself to a certain degree to give myself that type of love to where I feel understood, other people can understand me, and most importantly of all, I finally have boundaries that I actually stand 10 toes down on. Like they're no longer optional for me. And I just feel like that's such a powerful experience. Being able to like take that power back and be like, no, you don't get to define me anymore. You don't get to define what things mean for me either. I am free and I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I feel like that's what kept me from getting behind the camera for so long. I was so worried about what people would think of me or how they would react to me that I never really took the time to just be like, so what? So what if they judge me? So what? Like, I still owe it to myself to follow through with whatever I want, especially if I'm not hurting anybody. And loving myself is something that I always wanted, but I had to take apart so many different layers of myself to get to where I could finally be at peace and on point to where I could make decisions that would actually like help me, that would make me feel like I belong, that would make me feel like I had meaning, like I had joy, like I wasn't just doing stuff just to like do it, or I just wasn't purely existing. I realized that I was creating fun. And as a person who went through a lot of trauma, I realized trauma kind of stole like my creativity because the more traumatic events I went through, the less control I had over my own creativity. Like I stopped painting, I stopped drawing, and I realized that wasn't me. Like even as a little girl, that's how I also found like my own unique self love. I had to go back to the point in time where I wasn't hurt. I had to go back in time and understand that I am no longer in that place. That place only exists in my mind now. And there's nothing I can do to replicate or recreate that moment in time. I have to make peace with it so that I can move forward, so that I can continue to make a future for myself that I truly feel nurtured, protected, and like it actually belongs to me. Like I basically feel at home. That's what self love is. Like you have to find out what love means to you. That's like you never took a test in school asking you like, hey, what's your ideal love type? Like, who do you like to attract? Or we never experienced that. We just kind of had to find out love on our own because our parents didn't give us a lot of dating advice except for stay away from each other. So I feel like it's another part of my trauma. I never learned how to protect myself as a young person. And when I was able to fully love myself, I realized that I am worthy of being protected. Not only am I worthy of being protected, I am capable of protecting myself now. And that is a place of power that I always hoped and dreamed and wished for. And I thought it looked a certain way. But the whole time, like, it's a feeling, it's a frequency. Like, you feel it deep in your soul. Like you feel it resonating throughout your body. You can feel it changing your aura. Like it's just such an amazing feeling when you step into that goddess energy or that God energy. And you're just like, no, I'm no longer a victim of my situation, my circumstances, none of that. From this day forward, I decide to make my life whatever I want it to be. And that's the key to self love. Like, what do you want? How do you feel like you need to be loved? What is your love language? Like, and I feel like once we discover those things, like, they definitely help us, like, reboost and re recognize and reorganize ourselves. Like, I was looking at my eyes and I forgot I had on fucking eyeshadow. So I was just seeing my eyes. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? But it's just my eyeshadow reflecting. Yeah, like just being in that space to where you can provide yourself with self love, you realize that your soul doesn't just crave perfection, it craves progress, it craves experience, it craves art, it craves passion, it craves friendships. And I feel like the more I started craving these things, the more in line and in love I felt with myself because I'm no longer like a scientist or like I say, or I'm just keep it simple, say scientist, where I'm analyzing and researching every little detail about myself. I'm allowing myself to accept my flaws. And I feel like we all need to allow ourselves to accept our flaws because they make us unique and we're not meant to live in like this perfect construct of a box. Like, we don't even have angles on our bodies as humans, but yet they expect us to fit in these structural boxes all day, every day. They expect us to adhere to the system. And I just feel like I no longer want society as a whole to define like what self love looks like for me because I'm my own unique vessel and so are you. So you can continue to allow people to find what self love is for you or what healing looks like for you. Because is healing is a very interesting thing because it spirals up. Like you're going in loops, but you're looping up and it kind of turns into like one of those sound waves. So you're just moving throughout that vibration in time. And when you're not like in that healed state, a lot of times you'll just instead just do a circle and go on a 360. But the problem is the circle can be so big that the thoughts can go out. You can it's like a train track. You're on a train and the train track is so big that you don't realize that you're going in a circle. Like these emotions are holding you hostage. They're holding you from your dream life and you don't even realize it. Because I didn't realize it at first that my emotions were holding me hostage. All these insuperior, unsuperior feelings about myself, my worth, how I feel about myself, how I speak, everything had to be manufactured and perfect. And I realized that's not self love, that's self control. And if I'm in a constant state of self control, I can never really honor my own unique individual being because I'm trying to change it. Like I'm trying to manipulate things that don't necessarily need to be manipulated now. Instead, I finally just said, I'm going to be in control of my life and my fucking reality. And I'm going to pray that, that the world doesn't set on fire, at least not in my lifetime. Most likely, but hopefully not. No, not, no, I know.